Hi, my name is Annie.
And my name is Kevin.
And we're Overcommitted. Hey, pal.
Hi. How are you?
What happened just before this podcast?
A dog barfed
Yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah.
We were like about to close the door,
Yeah.
start it up, and then dog barfed. So
Cleaned
that's
up some dog barf.
cool. That's cool.
Nothing like the right before Thanksgiving, having guests over,
Yeah.
someone barfs on your couch.
Yeah.
Well, it's not someone, your dog.
Yeah, as of this recording, it's the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And, we're hosting, which we love to do.
We do.
It's a lot of
love to
work,
host.
but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's nice to not have to go somewhere. Isn't it? Do you like that more? Oh, wait, you like not hosting?
No, I do love hosting, but I was just thinking there is something nice about just showing up. But even when you just show up, you got to make a bunch of stuff usually.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how we do it. I realized that I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "You're hosting? Wow, that's a lot of work." And I was like, everyone's bringing stuff. Do people not do it that way? Do people just like come over and we'll make the whole meal for Thanksgiving?
I don't know the answer. I know that when I was a kid, we did Thanksgiving on like Saturday.
Because your mom was a nurse, is a nurse.
She's a nurse, and I didn't find that out until like 5 years ago. I always thought it was on Thanksgiving.
Which is wild because you just reminded me that our son is like obsessed with the calendar.
He's obsessed with
He
the
always
calendar.
knows what day and date it is.
We could not fool him.
No way.
No way. I'm pretty sure when we had people over, they brought dishes. But yeah, I guess I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I feel like that's always the thing, that like people bring stuff. But her reaction was a little like, that's not always the case. And then I was like, oh, are we bad hosts that we should be doing it all? There's no way I could do it all.
We can barely do what we're doing.
We can really do what we're doing. We're just doing the turkey and a few sides.
We are doing, I'm not going to get in the weeds of it, but we are doing, well, I guess some of the stuff had to happen. We had to replace the toilet, and then we replaced like a board in our bathroom.
We're having more stuff happen lately than
Yeah.
should be happening.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day. We were like, it always happens, almost like jinxing yourself. I was like, we really got to buckle down for November and like stop spending the way we've been spending. We've been living outside our means.
Yeah.
It's time to buckle down. No more just like willy-nilly on Amazon, Annie.
Additionally, we're going to host a giant party.
We're going to host a giant party. Our toilet's going to break. Our car battery's going to die.
Yeah.
Tires
Tires
might be given out.
They're definitely trying to tell me something, and I'm not
Yeah.
listening. I just keep resetting the tire pressure thing.
It's not the time. I think we paid a doctor's bill the other day that we've been waiting on. It's just November has brought a few surprises around.
Sure has.
Yeah. It's just been a lot, but that's the holidays, and we're just starting. We're just entering.
So you're saying you don't have an opinion of whether or not you prefer hosting or going to
No, I think I
house?
prefer hosting. I don't know. It's different. I love hosting,
Yeah.
but there is something nice about just like showing up
I
and
prefer
leaving.
hosting.
Okay, great.
I just like not
We're
leaving.
a good team because I don't not prefer hosting.
Sure, great, yeah. It would be awful if you... I probably wouldn't prefer hosting if you were a bad teammate.
I don't think we're great teammates.
Oh, no. Let's unpack that a little bit. Why aren't we good teammates?
We are good teammates, but I think you can acknowledge, and I can certainly acknowledge that I can be a lot when people are coming over.
Nice try.
Trap. It's
nice
a trap.
try. Move on.
It's a trap.
Let's talk about something else.
It reminds me of like, I feel like I've seen a couple of people do these kinds of videos, but I saw one recently where a guy was like, to his wife at the airport, like, remember, we're on the same team. They're the ones that are the enemies about like their kids. And I feel like that on holidays a little bit. Not that our family members are our enemies, but like a reminder to stay on the same team.
It's not even the people that are at the party. It's like what's going on.
Yeah. It's before people even show up.
We need to get out the dips. We need what would just people have chairs like.
Yeah, I just feel like, sometimes I have a running like mental list of things that need to get done.
Sure.
And your mental list is different than my mental list. You're not the guy that's out in the yard deciding to cut down tree limbs right before people come over or something.
Limbs.
I don't know. What do people do?
No, that's sometimes.
You're not the guy washing the car when people are coming over.
Like you doing the trim, even though you don't want to do that, but we're not going to do a day of.
No, the joke of that. You're helping. You're just like not doing exactly what, in my mind, where we would be.
What page we should be on.
And I think sometimes maybe that can make me silently aggressive. And then at some point, it can become quickly verbally aggressive. And then I'm always like really sweet and I always apologize.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to a point. It gets to a boiling point. I don't.
And also, I feel like you're not a very communicative person. So, like, you're running around doing things, but, like, sometimes you'll be like, oh, God. And I'm like, what? And you're like, nothing. It's maybe because you don't want to get me involved in what you're doing or something. But then I can just, like, sense your tension. Does all this ring true to you?
I was just staying silent to play out the bit.
Have you ever realized that this is the way that we are? Or is my analysis a surprise?
This is news to me. I think you're great. I agree completely. I think I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know you do.
So much so that like I can like kind of work it out.
Inwardly.
Yeah,
not outwardly. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's a lot of talking to myself, so I think I work out a lot of stuff to myself.
Uh-huh.
And I don't need you,
And I can be the same way.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes I just will snap. And so do you. We both just snap.
We're just snapping. We're at that snap age of parenting.
But tomorrow, I think I have been so behind and like not able. Like usually I'm able to kind of like drift away from work. I feel like in holiday weeks, you just kind of have to. A little bit here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or not even drift away. I've been getting up at like 5 a.m. every morning, starting work and working till 7.
Drifting away from the family.
I haven't been able to even like, like it's all I have been doing for the last like, I don't know, week and a half. So I have not had time to like even really think about or put too much pressure on this. So as of now, my mindset is whatever will be, will be.
Oh, that's great.
Do you think I'll carry that over?
No.
Predictions.
I think we have an hour left of that thought before we're back in it.
Tonight I'm making a pie and I'll be a nightmare.
I really hope the pie goes well. It's important for our family and for tomorrow.
But no, there's a part of me that's like, if it doesn't go well, we don't have an apple pie. It's fine.
It is true.
Pies.
People are bringing pies.
Yeah.
Do you also feel like with hosting that there is something about, like, you put so much pressure on yourself because you do have to do a lot of things when you're hosting. You do have to like just generally clean the house, but before you clean the house, you smartly have to be like, what needs to get done before cleaning? Because cleaning should kind of be the last-ish thing.
Sure.
That happens. I felt like, and tell me if you think I'm wrong.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me.
I will.
You will, and you will. I felt as overwhelmed as you did, and I still have felt like
when,
just like throughout, just like.
Oh, like Monday when I had a little panic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I can't help her. She's right.
to like, just so the audience understands. Monday was supposed to be kind of a clear day. All of our days were supposed to be kind of clear this week. Yeah. I was working all week.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a lot going on, and the kids are home from school. And Monday, all of a sudden, like just like you had an audition or something midday, you were out in the morning doing something. All of a sudden, like a bunch of stuff just got dropped on us, and I went like, I don't know how we're gonna do this week.
You did have
because we have so many things to do, and I don't know how they're gonna get done. And as of now, like work is not letting up. To the point my boss is sending me like funny text messages like, sorry, happy Thanksgiving. Like they're acknowledging it's terrible. So I just got like really freaked out. And then as soon as I texted you, like, I don't know how we're going to do it, I just started making a list, which is normally what I do. Freak out momentarily, develop a plan.
What's it called? Collect your thoughts?
Say my thoughts out loud to you, my sounding board and best friend. And then calm down and make a plan.
It's funny because you were freaking out on Monday, and it was understandable. And I was kind of freaking out too. I was agreeing with you, albeit silently. I think I was probably the closest I've ever been to being your father. Was like, because your father is a very quiet man.
Yeah,
he's not
stoic.
He's stoic. He doesn't say much.
Sure.
In intense situations.
And
I feel like you were upset, and I was like, she's kind of right. And I think I was like, we'll get through this.
Yes, I think that's exactly. I think it was all through text, but I think you texted me, we'll get through this.
We'll get through this. Which is funny.
Which is also dramatic when I think about it now, but.
It's all dramatic, and it's also funny because, like, of course you're going to get through it because you have to. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And also, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's our family. They could come over, and we could just have, like...
But it's not like they're going to come over and we're going to be, in our clothes from 2 days ago and going, I don't think it's happening, guys.
No.
I don't think we got it.
No, that's what I mean. It would just be the details of hosting. I would be bummed about. Like, sorry guys, we didn't clean the bathroom. You know, it's still like marginally clean. It's just not like hosting guests clean.
It's a wild example.
You know?
We would absolutely clean the bathroom before we did anything
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like extra details.
Sure.
You know, the table might not be decorated as well as I want it to be.
Sure. Yes. See, that one might happen.
I like to present a table.
Big table gal.
Also, people are coming over, they can help us. Like, it's not that big a deal, but in the moment it just felt like a lot. And we still had like bathroom trim hanging off the wall, caulking that needed to get done, like stupid stuff you don't want to be doing the week of Thanksgiving,
but it's done.
But we had the time, and then all of a sudden, like, just the way that Monday packed in, I was like, oh my god, what if every other day packs in like this?
Right. Yeah, it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I felt like, as I was starting to talk about, was, and tell me if you think I'm wrong.
Okay.
I don't know about that voice.
Okay.
I felt like, oof, man, we're in a tough spot. We're overwhelmed with so much to do. And it didn't take much off our list. It only took one thing off our list. But the other night, I think it was Monday night, when I moved everything in the backyard, like reorganized that area so that it was ready for like tables to go out, I was like, oh, I feel
a little better.
I feel like a good bit better.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a little better. It was like, oh, that feels like a bigger weight of everything, even though that was not a hard task.
And that's how I feel when I make a list.
Oh, okay, great.
That's a list making for me. I mean, I would have loved to be moving tables, but I was working.
Yeah, no, it was fine. I wasn't like, where is she?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you have also stayed up late every night.
Yeah.
I've gotten up early every
Moving
morning
furniture.
unrelated to Thanksgiving. But we've barely seen each other this week because we're ships passing the wind. But you've been staying up late to help, which you probably would have either way. But because I freaked out on Monday, maybe it got us a little ahead.
Oh, I would have stayed up either way to get it done.
I feel like I'm clenching this microphone so tightly. I don't know if that's a sign.
I think it's definitely a sign.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to like loosen that grip.
That grip is interesting. I wish people who are only listening could see it. It's like a teacup. Like she's holding a little teacup.
Little teacup.
A pinky up.
That's how I need to do it.
Yeah, all that to say, I prefer hosting.
Okay, great. I love hosting.
I like hosting. That's how much I don't like traveling.
Yeah.
Unless we're like staying somewhere. I don't mind traveling to stay somewhere.
Sure, like
but it's like going somewhere for an event, and then you're just kind of watching the clock of. You're just watching the clock of like when we need to leave,
sure,
and the big kid's bedtime. Like that, I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
As much. It's nice to not have to worry about cleaning and all that stuff and whatever. But although when you're at somebody else's house, you're just worried about their kids being the worst.
Yeah.
Be respectful of the space. The respect for this house is gone.
Yeah.
So the kids are just doing what they want.
And you get your kids in someone else's house, and all of a sudden they're like hanging from the like light fixture. And you're like, we don't do that in our house. Why would we do that in their house?
Which is funny because we were just recently at a friend's house, and we were anxious about their behavior and talked to them a couple times because you're running around too much rolling around.
Yeah.
They're going to get mad. This is disrespectful. And we don't, for the most part, monitor other people's kids in our house.
No,
it's
but
funny,
they
like,
went.
How that works.
They went in like the woman who was hosting's bedroom, and we're like playing hide and seek. I mean, and honestly, she was like, "That's totally fine," but I was like, "No, it's not. You don't know what they're doing in there."
That's what I mean. It's not fine. You're right, but it's funny how like her energy is like our energy when we're hosting.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, come on.
It's fine. Let him climb the wall. What's the big deal?
They're young ones.
Yeah. That's
They're
true.
young ones. Our kids like, get off there.
What are you doing? Get out of her room, you cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo bird.
I don't know. I was just reading someone said that I think her name is Ina Garten, the famous chef.
No, I don't know her.
Okay, Ina Garten. She's a famous chef.
Wait, she's salt, fat, acid, heat? I don't think so.
I don't
think she is.
But I don't know. I'm not even sure I'm saying her name right. This might be a Rodgers and Hammerstein moment. Anyway, someone said that she said in her book that when she's hosting, she's like, I like to have all of it done before people come. Like when you're hosting, get all the food cooked and prepped and done.
Oh.
So that you have as much time to spend with your guests as possible. And I was like, oh my God, that's also 100% my vibe. I don't like it when people come over and they're like, how can I help? What can I do? I want to be done. Obviously, you can't always be done, but if I can, like, that's my goal, is to just be like calm. Because I think because I'm too like this while I'm getting ready, I don't want people to witness that. My shoulders
are up to her ears. Really? I don't know how I feel about that. It makes sense on paper. You're right. Because you don't want your guests, essentially you don't want them to help because you want to be a good host.
I don't mind people helping.
No,
it's
but you
like,
don't want them to. You don't want to be like, you're here, get
put you to work. Yeah, but also I just want to be done.
That's interesting.
I prefer to not still be cooking. And also because like we have had parties. I want to think of which one. Maybe the one where we did like we had a tortilla like
your birthday,
a taco party.
I had a taco station.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of like refilling stuff, and like I felt like I was kind of monitoring the area like the whole night. And
I thought it was a good birthday. Sorry about that.
It's like 3 years ago. I might not even be talking about the right birthday, but the right party. But we had a party where we were hosting, and I felt like we were just doing stuff the whole time, and people started leaving, and I was like, man, I don't feel like I talked to very many people.
Did they leave because we were just doing stuff?
Probably. No, it's just like, it's just one of those where you're busy.
Yeah.
Whereas like I said to you on Monday, I was like, God, I cannot wait until, or maybe I said this yesterday, whatever, it doesn't matter, that I cannot wait to be sitting down at dinner. Like everything is done.
Yesterday.
We've made all the things. The guests have arrived. Like that moment, I'm really like visualizing right now.
Like it's not wrong. That's an interesting. I've never heard that before. That's interesting. I do think there's something fun though. Well, here's the problem with that logic. That's assuming everyone shows up at the same time, which they do not.
Sure.
So like the only way in theory that works, let's say for Thanksgiving, right? You take the turkey out, you should let it sit for like 20 to 30 minutes, like let it rest. So ideally everyone comes at 2, you've just taken the turkey out. So then you have like, because I like the pre-dinner hanging.
Yeah.
I don't want people to come and sit down and eat.
For something like a turkey, you can't be completely done. Don't get me wrong. But like as far as like the chopping and the like.
Sure.
The turkey is in the oven. You could take the turkey out of the oven. It's kind of a pain in the butt when you have to do like the last minute gravy, which is why I'm always like, I bought a jar of gravy in case you want that instead of doing the whole thing with drippings.
Voice.
It's kind of a pain in the butt when then you have like more chores to do. But like as far as like I can take casseroles out of the oven. I can.
Oh, okay.
Obviously the table will have to have food put on it. That's fine. But I don't want to be like still making a charcuterie board when people arrive. I don't want to be still like.
No, I agree with that. I would love to be there. We're not those people. And I've made peace with that.
And besides, you love standing by a grill and holding court.
I do not stand by my grill and hold court.
You do 100%.
It's a smoker and it connects to my phone. I just need to have my phone. I stand by my phone.
I'm going to take a picture of you every time I see you standing at the grill, and I'm going to post it in my stories.
Bet.
I will almost inevitably forget to do this.
You're too busy chopping and cooking.
What?
Well, by this time, this came out.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is over.
Had their Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a good time. I have a really dumb question, but
okay.
I'm happy to ask it.
Great.
Does the rest of the world have Black Friday?
I bet. I don't know. No, probably not. I don't know.
It's a good question.
Day after other holiday sales.
Because most people have off after Thanksgiving, or some people do. Do you?
Yes, the day after Thanksgiving. Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
I forget everything now.
Yeah.
So, Black Friday makes sense because people can go shopping. But it's just like a big sales day. And
right.
We live in a capitalist world. I was just curious.
I mean, it's kind of created anyway, isn't it?
What's created?
I think a lot of places people have found out, like, raise their prices and then lower them, so they are like artificially lowered.
Right, so Black Friday is not really a deal.
Yeah.
I have noticed that. I don't buy stuff, but then I'll look at something and be like, that's how much it should be.
Yeah, but there are some things that are definitely lower, I guess, but
yeah,
I don't think it's quite as it used to be. I do like to go a little hard on Black Friday, though.
On the day or like the whole?
On the
what
day,
is it like? It's
but
like
I do it online, and I just think of it as more like I don't really know or care if I'm getting deals, but I assume like no, that's incredibly false. I just shorted out.
She broke.
I care about deals more than really anything else in the world.
Stabbed yourself.
I know. Saying I don't care about deals. I desperately care about deals, but I assume that like on that day I'm probably getting the lowest-ish price I'm going to get for a lot of things. And it's just a day where I can kind of go ham on the internet when I don't have to work. And it's early enough. I know stuff will be delivered by Christmas.
Yeah.
And I could just kind of like get shopping out of the way. I don't go anywhere. I like to do it all online.
Yeah, it's tricky. because you want to support local business.
Yeah.
But people are animals on Black Friday.
Well, you don't have to go to Black Friday. I mean, you don't have to go to local businesses on Black Friday. You can still support
Hit them up later.
Yeah.
For sure.
But when you have to get like the basic stuff as much done as possible.
It's just easier. It's just better.
I don't know if it's better, but it's easier, and it's all my brain can contain these days. And our friends used to have like a Black Friday little celebration at their house the day after Thanksgiving. I don't think they do it anymore. And they just like sit around all day and shop.
And eat leftovers.
In their
pajamas.
And that is sort of what I did last year with
your
whole family just sitting around chatting.
Well,
I was just on my computer from the get all day.
Since we're talking about unexpected things happening, and this is the first year of this podcast.
Should I try to get tires on Black Friday?
Jeez, that's a good question. Probably. I think my brother did that last year. It was a great deal.
Tires?
Yeah. No, I was going to say last year on Black Friday, while everyone was sitting around, and some of you shopping and some of you just enjoying one's company.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a plumber.
Oh, right. We did have a plumber come last year day after Thanksgiving.
Sink clogged.
Oh, boy.
Our kitchen sink clogged because I don't know. This is why you don't want guests to help.
You think it might have been something someone did?
I think someone poured something down there they shouldn't have.
Sure.
Maybe not. It's just a coincidence that on Thanksgiving, I'm very particular, and we're not going to get in the weeds on this podcast about my sink, but I've got a little catch grate and all that stuff. That was a bummer. And I remember the guy told me he should do comedy. It was like a classic. It was a classic like conversation with somebody who's like not that everyone does this, but like, you run into somebody that's a real character.
Yeah.
And they're not in the arts and they're like, people say I'm funny.
Yeah,
I should get into that. I should do that. And you're like, I mean, try it. And all the guys say I'm the funniest guy at the job. And I'm like, all right, man.
I believe you.
I believe you, please. I don't want to talk anymore.
That's right. I remember that. You were inside with him for a while we all sat outside.
Yep. And then 2, I didn't tell you this. It was a year-old story, but it's
Wow.
It's funny to mention. Our neighbor across the street and the one to his left, our right, both came out at separate times. The men. And they were just like, what's going on? What happened?
I always do that with our neighbors. Anytime I see like a plumbing truck, I'm like,
you look.
Oh, no. They're having trouble. Yeah, I guess
they walked down the driveway and they're like, what's going on, man? What happened? Anything? It was just like such classic.
Turkey bones.
Such classic just men. It's just like, oh, let's, what happened? Let me guess. Toilet? Nope. Oh, okay.
No, we did that already. So what will it be on Friday?
I don't know. I'm sure this is unrelated to what we have talked about this entire podcast.
Sure. Let's do it.
But I just had a random thought. Was it today or yesterday that I thought about talking about in this podcast of just how, like, when somebody has a newborn or a toddler, not older than that, like stay in that. What's a toddler cutoff? Like 3?
Yeah.
Like sure. 2. So 1 to 2 is a toddler.
Yeah, I would say 3-year-old's probably a toddler.
3.
I don't know. I don't know hard and fast rules of.
All I'm going to say is
kids' clothes goes up to like 6T.
I'm going to get people pissed at this.
Yeah. Maybe T stands for tiny and not toddler. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be cute. That's so much easier, I think.
Toddlers? Go on. Where? When? Why? How?
I think here's why. You do have to like be careful and temper your emotions and stuff. And it is like, I think the problem with like toddlers versus like kids our age.
Are you saying that toddlers are easier than the kids that we have now, our 5-year-old and 8-year-old?
Here's why. Let me explain. I just feel like emotionally, and it's probably just my age, I'm just fragile and I'm falling apart.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like with a toddler, and I remember I've talked about this before. I don't know if I've talked about that on this podcast. I don't mind repetition. I'm somebody that repetition doesn't bother me. Like when everybody talks about like I'm so sick of hearing like "Let It Go" for the 500th time. I'm like, it doesn't bother me. Like that stuff's never bothered me. I've always been somebody who actually likes repetition. I like to listen to the same song a million times.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what a toddler and a newborn are. It's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard.
And lonely. Newborns.
And lonely.
Uh-huh.
But it's like the expectation doesn't like change.
Oh.
Where I feel like with our kids, they're great and they're I think easier to a degree. than newborns and toddlers. But I'm emotionally cashed, I feel like. Because I feel like I'm always letting them down.
Yes, I feel that for sure.
And
I do
feel
feel
like
that.
you can let your toddler down if you have like an outburst, which I've been guilty of.
Yeah.
But you can kind of course correct and
But you have to
out.
always have eyes on. That's why I think absolutely not. Because like I can take a shower now and say to our kids, don't climb anything while I'm in there. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I guess there's that.
Our kids can be in a different part of the house.
I guess I'm used to.
And I have to wait until I hear a crash to know I need to go help them. When you have a toddler, it's like you can't just like be like roam the house.
No, I'm not saying there's. Okay, so there is a lot of stuff that's easier about what we're going through now. I think emotionally,
the letting them down part, I totally empathize with and feel.
I feel like that's been getting to me more.
Yeah.
Maybe I just shouldn't be comparing to toddlers at all.
I know. Our daughter later.
I was just thinking about the repetition and of how like I can handle that, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And is emotionally upsetting. I'm not saying it's not. It can be. I just feel like now it's just like so many avenues, and we're getting sex questions, and then we're also like
worrying
our behavior
about what they're learning and what we're teaching them, and who's teaching them what, and are we teaching them enough? And
are we teaching them at the right pace? Are we teaching them? Or are we behind? Are we, Are
we not paying attention to things that we should be paying attention to? Or
I feel like more stuff affects me now of people talking about like how you should be parenting. Than it did when I had a toddler and newborn. There was certain.
I was always worried about stuff. I do think that I was more worried about stuff than you were. Like tummy time. I was like, God, are we not making them do enough exercises so they're gonna walk? Are they not walking in time?
Yeah, I always
did that. We never do
like
crafts at home, or like you watch these like Instagram videos where it's like, here's a way to teach your kid to write, and I'm like, I'm waiting until they go to school.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not totally true, but I certainly was worried I wasn't doing stuff enough.
I feel like all of that stuff, even though I was a stay-at-home dad, I feel like all that stuff I approached from like such a dad perspective. I was like, all right, let's do some tummy time. Like I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
So that might just be on me. I feel like now I listen to people or hear things, and even if it's not like, I don't know that the Instagram people get to me so much as being a social media person myself. I know what's fake and whatever. I think it's more of just like conversations you either overhear with your friends or even stuff you hear somebody saying casually on social media that's not braggy of like, well, this is what you shouldn't be doing.
Sure.
And you hear stuff and you're like, oh, they did that at 5? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like, we talked about last week and talking about Wicked. I think I'm an emotional wreck. So I feel like all that's coming to a head.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think they'll benefit from
I don't want another
wreck
one.
Father.
I don't want another kid.
We're not having one.
I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying
it didn't even seem like we were headed there.
I'm just saying
because you're saying
toddlers are easy. I'm not like, I'd love to do that.
They're not
again.
easy when they're your third.
Definitely not. Not a chance.
Our daughter last night was laying in bed with me, and she said, she was like, I was like, I'm so sorry, I've been so busy lately, and she's like, I wish you didn't have to work. I would like deal with like having less stuff if you didn't have to work. And I was okay. Well, it's not that easy. Like I don't just, because I think sometimes we're like, we have to go do our jobs because it pays for things that you enjoy doing.
Yeah,
but it's like, it also pays for like the house and the car and like things that we have to have.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest problem with working from home is that we have to constantly like justify like, especially on like weeks like this where it's vacation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, buddy.
I can see you, but I can't have you.
And it sucks working on our phones.
Yeah.
Because then the kids are just like, you're on TikTok. And I go, I know I am.
Yeah.
But it's literally I'm posting something.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it hit me a little bit. I was like, oh, God, I feel like a bad mom. But I know I'm not. I know this is just like the time I'm in right now. And like work gets stressful and then it ebbs and flows.
Yeah. But we're in the happy season coming up.
Happiest. I'm ready for Christmas lights yesterday. I cannot wait till this weekend.
As of people, as of when this podcast goes out, I will be hanging Christmas lights.
Yeah. Well, Saturday or Sunday, probably not Friday, but
why not
maybe Friday.
I do it Friday every year.
Okay.
Because my parents watch the kids while I string the lights.
Oh, sure. I just, I honestly, I would have put them up weeks ago.
Sure.
If not for lack of time.
Yeah. It's been wild. We're ready for it.
We're ready for it.
I heard somebody say, Thanksgiving, and I enjoy Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
I love Thanksgiving. I'm excited for it. I know people have already had it when they listen to this. I'm just saying, I love it. Having said that, it is the speed bump that gets you to Christmas.
Yeah.
To the holidays.
The holiday season.
Because it's like, great, boom, boom, let's go. Speed up, let's go.
Yeah.
And then slow down. Oh, no, it's over. Oh, God, it's January. I'm sad again.
Oh, God, it's January. I'm making resolutions. Probably won't. Probably going to resolve to survive just like 2024.
I think we've done that every year.
Let's go.
It's resolved to be a little bit better, which is pretty good.
Yes, we should do, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I think you're great.
I think you're great. And
Thanks.
I will be your teammate on tomorrow that was yesterday when people hear this podcast.
Thank you.
We'll see if you report that it's true.
We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be great.
Hope everyone had a great day yesterday if you celebrate. And if you didn't, I hope you had a great day also.
Yeah. I hope you have a great day no matter where you're watching or listening to this from.
Yeah.
And please write a review for this podcast.
Yeah,
if
please.
If you guys haven't done it on Apple Podcasts.
We don't have
anywhere.
a new one.
We don't have a new one? Let's get a new one that we can read it on the next podcast.
Yeah.
And share this podcast with other people.
Yeah.
Other parents or friends or anybody you think they would benefit from. Couples. This doesn't just have to be kids.
Yeah.
Talking about kids a lot, but whatever. Couple podcasts. So yeah. But write a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the podcast. We'd love to do that. That'd be so great. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else before we sign off?
I think that's it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.